Well, the right is exploding on itself. We have a civil war happening in the world of the right wing politics. Yesterday, you had the Heritage Foundation head, by a man by the name of Kevin Richard Roberts, put out a post yesterday, that a video that said apparently there had been discussion the day before that Kevin Roberts was going to, or Heritage was going to distance itself from Tucker Carlson, as Tucker Carlson on Monday had interviewed Nick Fuentes, this little worm here, who is a anti-Semite, Nazi believing, women hating, you just a delightful guy. 25 years old. He's made a name for himself already as one of the worst people in America, who just hates Jews and fat and this and that, and all these wonderful things. And Tucker had a over 2 hour interview with him that he released on Monday. That was a very friendly interview, and people were taking Tucker to task for that. Because Tucker, as it's been, has been becoming very controversial and very negative, and very he himself is being accused of being an anti-Semite, which he's not, almost not even fighting at this point. He is now attacking his own people and saying that Christian Zionism is, he hates them. Matter of fact, on Monday he told Nick Fuentes he hated Christian Zionists more than any other people, and that included people like Mike Huckabee, who's ambassador to Israel. That included Ted Cruz. That included Mitch McConnell, and any number of other people who call themselves Christian Zionists. So Tucker has gotten crazier and crazier. Of course, we know he's become a Putin apologist. Supposedly took money from Qatar recently, and has been platforming, all these really disgusting people, from Andrew Tate now to Nick Fuentes. And there had been a report that Heritage was going to distance themselves, because Heritage, well, I should say Kevin Roberts is a very close friend of Tucker's, and he is, of course, head of Heritage Foundation, and at times had been funding Tucker, actually, by advertising Heritage, uh, sponsoring Tucker's shows. And Tucker's shows start at $75,000 per. So it's not cheap. And so you have Heritage funneling, I should say, a lot of money over to Tucker Carlson. So yesterday, anyway, long story and short of it is that um, Kevin Roberts puts out a video yesterday, right here, and he said there's been speculation that Heritage is distancing itself from Tucker Carlson over the past 24 hours. I want to put that to rest right now. Here are my thoughts. And what he did was he said, not only are we not distancing ourselves, I'm not going to cancel him. I'm not going to cancel Nick Fuentes. I don't like what Nick Fuentes has to say, but he thinks that debate should be above everything else, and that none of these people should be canceled, which created a firestorm. But he made it even worse by, his message was really sort of mishmashed and wasn't very clear. And even today, he doesn't understand the outrage that's come his way. He made a comment that said, um, those that oppose him are vicious. No, what did he say? He called them vicious. I guess he called them. I'm sorry. He called them vicious opponents, is what he said, and he had no place in his world for the vicious opponents that were coming to Heritage and attacking him. And most people took that to mean that anybody that was criticizing Tucker or Nick Fuentes was considered a vicious opponent. That's not what Kevin Roberts was meaning, but that's how people took it because his message was not clear. So he really created a firestorm yesterday. Uh, X got crazy. There was 11 million views of this thing yesterday, which is just insane. And you had everybody from every organization chiming in, one side or the other, in either in favor of heritage or against heritage, and it just became this shitstorm. So today he puts out another video that explained in detail how he feels about Nick Fuentes and his anti-Semitism and his anti this and anti that. And quite frankly, it was a very thoughtful and good document that he put out, and he stated it in the video too. And that was great, and you should do that. And it did clear up some of what the confusion yesterday of was he endorsing Nick Fuentes or not. But it wasn't enough, and it really wasn't addressing the issue. And I still don't know if Kevin understands what the issue is. Um, he really may not. He went on. I'm sorry. I got distracted here. He went on the Dana Loesch show today, as she invited him on. She gave him a fairly harsh interview, trying to nail him down and to squeeze him into understanding and answering what all this was about. But he still missed the message. He still didn't understand. And in my going on X and my making comments and my reading comments is, I'm right. He what he said and what the people understood is a mess. Then you had people like Glenn Beck today come in and say it's sad that all this is happening, and he doesn't want to see Tucker Carlson canceled, and all these things, and he wants with all parties, and everybody should just get along. Well, that's just not how the world works. And then the question comes up is to what is tolerable from these people? How much of Tucker can anybody allow? How much racism? How much anti-Semitism? How much exclusion and nastiness is too much? When you join a club, every club has its rules, and you have to follow those rules to stay a member of that club. And if you go too far, you're kicked out. And that is really no different in politics, whether it's left wing or right wing. And personally, I think Tucker's gone too far. I think he's gotten crazy, and I certainly don't like the fact he's cozied up to Putin and Qatar and all his anti-Semitism, and now his Christian Zionism that he hates. I just think it's too much. But if the right wants to keep him, that's their business. Um, but I think that the right has got to. They're going to eat themselves for a while, and this isn't going to die down anytime soon. Even if Kevin Roberts comes back and figures out what he did wrong yesterday in this video, he's opened up too many cans of worms right now, and this is not going to settle down anytime soon. I wonder how much damage it's even going to do to heritage. There's already a number of organizations that have said in the last 24 hours that they're reconsidering their relationship with heritage. And I would imagine that a lot of that involves funding and donations to heritage. So I think he made a mistake, and I think he stepped into it, and it's not going to be easy to fix. And I think that there's going to be a lot of discussion now between all these people on the right. And is Tucker going to continue to be welcome, or is it too much too far? You have people like Mike Huckabee who are just blowing it off and just saying, they like Tucker, but they're shocked at what he's saying about them and all these crazy things. So I just wanted to bring that out to you today, and bring this to your attention and say, keep looking, keep an eye if you're on X, keep an eye out for heritage, keep an eye out for Kevin. But this is going to be a wider discussion. I don't think the right can survive this by as it is right now. They've opened up too many cans of worms in the last couple of years of allowing too many things to come to the fore, especially anti-Semitism, anti-Israel, all of these things. And now you have this whole thing that's happened with the war and this pro-Palestinian that has really ratcheted up the anti-Israel hate. And of course, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene trying to defund the funding to Israel by uh, $500 billion, I think it was. Um, just a lot of money. And this whole thing it's just the beginning. So anyway, I wanted to bring that to you and have a good weekend. And we'll see you on the next video. Remember to subscribe. That's what helps me grow this channel. And look for me on X under the same thing, Thinking Clearly, except for the L and clearly at the end. LY is one Y. And like, share, and subscribe to the video. Thank you. Bye bye.